What is up guys, Farhan here, and today I'm in Esplanade and I'm gonna catch a SG film screening called The Apprentice, and this screening features a Q&A right after the screening with director Boo Junfung. So I don't think I told you guys this, but Apprentice is actually my all-time favourite film. It came out in 2016. It stars Wan Hanafi Su as Senior Chief Warder Rahim and Singaporean actor Fur Rahman as Sergeant Aiman, the protagonist of the story. The film actually went on to the Cannes Film Festival and won a couple of awards in Singapore and Malaysia. Very crowded night at the Esplanade today. Lots of activities going on, but I'm only here for one thing: Apprentice.
Have you pre-registered yourself online?
Yes, correct.
Your name?
My name is Farhan.
Farhan Abdullah?
Yes,
okay.
Correct. Okay, so I'm here at the screening and I met my good friend from secondary school and fellow YouTuber also, Shaggy Shack, and his wife Jana.
Cheers.
Hello. Anything you want to say?
Actually, we watched this show before.
I watched it 3 times, that's why I'm here.
Another one to add on. We have the DVD as well.
Okay, we're gonna...
You were right? You were there for the DVD.
I was there. He signed it for me. Okay, so I'm gonna shut off the camera now and we're gonna watch this.
Memang dah melampau lah, Aiman. Tak payah nak kisah pasal aku. Sengaja kan? Kau cakap macam ni, kau nak sakitkan hati aku. Kau nak buat aku benci dengan kau kan?
Chief tak kesiankan dia ke?
The law is the law. Dia orang commit crime, mesti kena hukum lah.
Kalau kita kasih dia rehab, dia boleh berubah ke? Kalau kita tak kasih dia chance, macam mana kita tahu dia nak berubah ke tak?
Apa? Kau ingat aku siapa? Ha? Kau masuk sini, kau ingat kau boleh bilang aku apa betul lepas salah ya? Ya memang aku pandai bunuh orang. So what?
It is a very heavy film. It will take some time for you guys to sort of things to settle, for you to decompress. What were the film that you were envisioning at that point?
Well, actually, the film. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming to watch my 3-year-old film. It took me 3 years to write the script before pre-production even began.
One of the interesting things is when you wrote the script, it was open casting in a sense, right?
Yeah. Well, before I go into casting, she just reminded me that yes, Jasmine has been a part of this journey with me for a long time as well. And when I went to meet the hangman for the first time, and I had read so much about him previously, but he was always just this character that was so much larger than life. I interviewed him there in his place, and we learned a lot from things from his point of view.
Actually, would you speak more on that? Because I think that idea of what you think a hangman would be like. I think I remember when we took the taxi home after that. I think we were a bit stunned for a while.
So by the time I had kind of written the first draft of it, I had a certain image of what this hangman might be like. And at the end of that conversation, I realized I had to scrap everything because the hangman that I had in my head was a caricature of what a hangman would be. I didn't expect myself to actually like this guy so much. He was such a jocular and charismatic old man, like a grandfather you meet at a home, and so many stories to tell. I mean, for me, I was kind of trying to reconcile it both emotionally and intellectually as well, because when you take a stand on these issues, quite often you have to shut out the other side to hold on to that conviction. And sometimes when opportunities like that happen and you get to encounter narratives from the other side, and you start wondering, what that perspective might be like. I mean, it was in a way traumatizing because I had written a whole 120 pages that I knew I had to throw away. But at the same time, it was inspiring because it was giving me a point of view that I hadn't considered. And it was exactly the humanity of that and the relationship it's between the two men that I think made the film work.
And then it came to looking for the actors who would then bring this to life.
We spent about a year casting for the film in Singapore and Malaysia. The script was written such that actually Rahim was a Chinese guy and Aiman was a Malay guy. But in a way, we were casting colorblind. We were really trying to look for actors who could give me that chemistry.
So it's one thing to cast them as individuals who could bring something, and then figure out how you could match them. You would almost like matchmaking.
Yeah. So we were casting in Singapore and Malaysia so long as they sounded Singaporean. We were casting Chinese actors, Malay actors, Indian actors. And eventually, we really had a hard time finding the hangman. Because someone who needed to have that very natural charisma, I just couldn't find him easily. And then one day when my casting director and I, we were in Jiaming and we were in KL, we kind of hit a roadblock because none of the actors we had seen by then felt right. So we just basically walked into a DVD store and we started picking out all the Malaysian films that looked like they had old men in them. And then we just binge watched them in the hotel room. And then it was in Dane Syed's Bunuhan, a period film, where I saw this beautiful looking old man sitting by the beach with long flowing white hair and playing a flute. And I'm like, okay, that guy, who is that? And we found him and he turned out to be a veteran actor in Malaysia, Wan Hanafisu. When we met him, I thought, okay, he was really interesting. He was very unpredictable. He was giving me performances that was more than what I had originally written, which is always very exciting for a director. Then we were looking around for young men in Singapore. There were Chinese guys, Malay guys, and then we even brought them up to KL and then even just to JB to a hotel room to meet one because he didn't have a passport yet. And finally, when with Fear was actually the very first guy we auditioned, and we kind of took a whole year to get back to him because you wouldn't think the very first one you find is the right one, right? So you kind of just have to keep looking, and in the end, the first one turned out to be the right one. And they had this remarkable connection between them. And yeah, we got 1.5 year passport. He came to Singapore, he went to Australia with us. Actually, in making this film, a large part of me wanted the public to have to shoulder some of these questions that I had when I was making the film. And at the same time, I feel that when members of the public can easily, just without much care, say that they are for the death penalty, they don't think about the repercussions and the other things that come with it and the lives that it does damage. Rather, I just wanted to take everyone on a journey, one step at a time, closer and closer to an execution. And when finally that hand is on the lever, what do you think? In many ways, when I wrote the film, the way the film ends, with it cutting to black, was the way I wanted to end it the very first day I thought of this. It was in my very first pitch that it was going to be about these two guys, and at the end I want his hand on the lever and I want to cut to black. And it wasn't easy coming to this point because the 5 years of writing, then shooting, and then after that editing the film was in trying to find the best moment, or the perfect moment to be able to stop it back. And there was a lot of balancing act to be done. So actually the very first scene that you see in the film and the very last scene is the same scene. And the whole thing was originally shot in one 5-minute Steadicam take. And it took us 2 days just to shoot that one scene.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
What do you think of the Q&A?
I think it's revealed a lot of secrets that all of us never knew about.
Yeah. How about you, Kana?
Yeah,
Okay lah.
same.
Same, huh?
Same.
Same.
What kind of
What answer is that?
Same.
Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us. And see you in the next one.